What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Death Trash. This is one of those games that we've covered a couple times in the past, but ultimately it's one of those games that I think the developer's one of those, like, take it easy kind of guys. Like, he wants the game to be good, and so he's kind of developing it at his own pace. There hasn't really been a whole lot to talk about with this title over the course of the last 2 years, I guess. I think the last time I covered this was in like 2023. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But anyways, it's an open world RPG that is fantastically original, very, very unique. I've been screaming that from the mountaintops since the moment I played this game the first time. You could tell it was going to turn into something very interesting by comparison to everything else on the market. And so today we're going to be taking a look at the game and just kind of reminding you that it actually exists, that it's like a project that's out there. It is making tangible progress, and just now they expanded the size of the map and added a bunch of new areas to it over the course of this week. And so this is Death Trash. Let's go ahead and dive on in and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list, or if it's one of those games that you would rather pass on. If after watching this you wanted to get Death Trash for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. You can check that out there. On top of that, you can also find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links just in case you wanted to get a little bit closer or talk to me on Discord or anything else like that. But let's play some Death Trash, shall we? So what is Death Trash for the uninitiated? Death Trash is one of those games that I think had a huge amount of hype, like, I would say probably 4 or 5 years ago. It was one of those post-apocalyptic RPGs that takes place in almost like a freak world, almost like an odd world type setting. It's a game that is relentlessly sarcastic, it is incredibly humorous, and yet at the same time, it comes packaged together with actually really, really good combat. I've been super surprised with the almost soulsy, very, very tight combat that this game has inside of the current build. You in this game are a character that woke up inside of a Fallout-style bunker, only to be ejected. So you know how, like, you always start out inside of a bunker in Fallout, and then you end up being the hero? That's not you in this game. In this game, you woke up out of cryo sleep, and you were promptly put at gunpoint and told you had to leave right away with no explanation. And so now you're investigating what it is that's wrong with your character, and why you got bounced out of the safe little kind of VR hovel that you lived inside of prior to joining the Wasteland style of life. Along the way, you'll be collecting cyberware, you'll be getting crazy psychic powers, you'll be making friends with giant meat titans. One of the interesting things about this game is that the entire game takes place inside what I only know to call a meatpocalypse. Do I have the right ability on right now? I need to make sure I have the right ability on because I'm getting really, really gunned down at the moment. My HP is taking a strike. But the only way you can really describe the setting of this game is like a meatpocalypse. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I will explain. So inside this game world, giant hunks of flesh and meat that are completely and totally edible are growing all over the place. All of the water is spontaneously turning into blood, and there are also giant godlike titans of like cyberware and also of like meat flesh that are just sort of around and doing their own thing in the game world, and you've got to figure out how all these pieces connect to your overall story. Right now, I'm actually diving down into a bunker that I discovered up to the northwest of one of the starting areas because I need finances, dude. Art imitates life, and right now inside this game, I am broke as a joke. And so hopefully we get some interesting footage and some nice things happen over the course of the next 25 to 30 minutes. It looks like I can open the machine and grab the insides. Okay, I'll take the machine core. I actually needed that because I'm investigating my illness right now. And like there's like a tumor or something growing inside of me. It's taking up one of my inventory slots at the moment. I suspect that the giant mass that's raging along inside of me is the reason why I got kicked out of the safety of the VR bunker. But a doctor, in order to verify, needed me to find him a machine core. Okay, well, I didn't even know that was going to be inside of here. I just kind of like picked a spot where I could start the video off with a lot of action and a lot of crazy things happening. Oh, he's got a laser gun. Okay. I would rather not get lasered right now. Yeah, so I need to... Oh, God. Okay, you stop lasering. Stop lasering right this second. The downside to ranged weapons in this game is that eventually you're going to have to reload them. And when you go to reload your ranged weapons, every time you take a hit, it resets the overall progress of your reload. Oh, no, dude, my inventory's full up? This is actually kind of like a nightmare. This is one of the worst things that can objectively happen to you inside of the context of an RPG. I didn't even know that I had limited inventory space, but now I know. The good news is the game comes along with a whole bunch of utilities and crafting and stuff like that that you can fiddle around with while you're out in the Wasteland. So I can take things like usable parts and extra guns, and I can just break them down into useful materials should I require them. And so it shouldn't be that big of a deal, like the wooden cudgels and whatnot. I think we can pretty safely get rid of those for crafting materials so that I have room for more ammunition and whatnot. I've been slowly collecting all of the various like crafting recipes that exist inside the game world to make my life easier. I need to have high-tech skills in order to get in there. Okay, I'm eating meat flesh that I harvested off the ground right now in order to get my HP back. One of the interesting things about this game is that you don't explicitly have anything that resembles like mana. Instead, what you have is toxicity. You are special inside this game world, as we all tend to be inside of RPGs. And you have abilities like I can fire lightning out of my hands, I can puke on command, and puking on command is actually a major mechanic of this game, because every single time you eat anything from the Wasteland, or any single time that you cast a spell inside of this game, your blood level toxicity goes up, and then you need to puke in order to get it on out of yourself. But this is not just here for the game to be gross and disgusting. You actually use puke as a resource during certain parts of the game. Almost every single machine in this title functions. Oh, we got the octagon fluid too. Those are all things that I needed for my quest that I was advancing along. Well, that'll make life a little bit easier. But in this game, all robots have been kind of like retooled to function using biofluids. And guess what counts as a biofluid? Pretty much everything that comes out of you after a nice hefty meal. And so anyways, puking actually serves a very real utility inside of this game. And I sort of dig like the early 90s Ren and Stimpy reveling in grossness that this game does. Like it's just one of those titles where it's like unabashedly unashamed of being itself. And I think that's actually kind of a rare thing nowadays. Like, I've played through a couple of RPGs lately. Like, I've played, like, what is that? Somebody must have gutted the insides. Was it me? Did I gut the insides? I've been playing a lot of RPGs lately. Recently, I beat Avowed. I beat Starfield. I've gone through a number of RPGs lately, The Outer Worlds, stuff like that. And one thing I've really come to notice about role-playing game worlds nowadays is that in the interest of being like as accessible to everybody around, they also come across just catastrophically inoffensive and unwilling to challenge the player on anything, or make the player be like, ugh, that's gross. Death Trash is not that kind of RPG. This is a game that wears its own identity as a badge of pride and just fundamentally refuses to apologize for it. And I sort of respect the ballsy nature of that. That makes this game into one of those things that is unabashedly indie, unafraid to hold its chin out high and be like, yup, I'm an original piece of media, and I don't care if I offend you. I don't care if you don't like my overall aesthetic. I don't care if you don't like the theming and atmosphere of my world. I am what I am, and I'm going to have a good time with it. And I honestly, I think that's a really rare thing inside the world of RPGs. So back inside of town, I've sold off everything that was inside of my inventory from our little foray into the bunker, and I need to give this guy who's investigating whatever kind of wasteland disease I have and its effects. So let's turn in everything. You return. I have all the items you wanted. Nice. Give them to me. Good. Let me prepare this thing. All right. I've adjusted the frequency of the scanner to listen to any flesh activity. Let me see here. Yeah, there's definitely some activity, not much though. Would be interesting to see how the flesh nexus reacts to your body if it's enhanced by the octagon fluid. The flesh nexus? It's my name for the web of flesh that fills these caves. It has mass, tentacles, nodes. There's a remarkable node right here at the back of this cave. Here, let me apply some of that octagon fluid to your skin. If I'm correct, then this should make you a lot more attractive to the nexus. Do I want to be attractive to a giant flesh sphincter in the wall? Did you just season me? Like, you just basted me, bro, and now you're sending me over to the flesh monster. Go over to the node and give it a try. All right. Oh, dude, it's moving. The flesh nexus is calling you. Answer? You reach out, and there's something or someone reacting to you. The sensation increases, and now you feel 1,000 eyes fixed on you. You try to speak, but have no voice. The moment passes, and you feel the presence vanishing again. Okay, well, at least I got XP for it. You return. I examine the flesh nexus, and it reacts to me. I feel like I could communicate with it even, only my voice isn't strong enough or something like that. Fascinating. How would you like to get a stronger voice for that? I don't know, really. Maybe that flesh tentacle creature I told you about. Interesting. Yeah, it's worth a shot, I guess. I'll go talk to it. Anything else? I think that's about it for me. I gotta talk to this flesh, or like, which flesh am I talking about here? Oh, I've gotta go talk to the fleshkraken, our giant, fleshy, fluffy friend. Okay, he's not fluffy at all, but he is like a giant octopus made out of flesh that deeply wants friendship, which is how the game opens up. That's how the game begins, is with you staring down the barrel of a corporate office-sized fleshkraken that just wants you to be its friend. I do need to take a look, and I think, like, making some more ammo would be a really good idea. There we go. Like, I need to have lots and lots of rifle bullets. I aftermarket, so I had, like, this tube shotgun. Basically, like, you remember, like, there's the scrap rifles or whatever from the older Fallout games, like Fallout 2, you get the pipe weapons. That's basically what my rifle is, but I aftermarket modded it so that it has 3 bullets now, and apparently just magically became gas-operated, but it's been working out pretty well so far. I do need a little bit more money if I wanted to buy an armor, and I definitely want that armor. It feels like it's going to be really useful to me, and so I'm going to buy the combat vest real fast. One downside of the game is that it doesn't really show off your armor when you put it on characters. Helmets show up, but they don't modify your profile up here either when you put on helmets, but it's one of those little things where the game is sprite-based. I'm not honestly expecting the developer to design like 150 different permutated sprites for every combination of heads and chests, and if the game isn't designed from the ground up to handle that sort of like gear graphic modularity, then it can be really, really difficult to implement after the fact. The good news is the game is fun enough that you don't really need those things for it to be satisfying. I wanted to investigate these ruins over here. Like, I know that they've got me at the moment, like, hooked by the narrative nose, but I want to do more adventuring. Like, I'm ready. Give me that right there. And what are you guys doing? You guys are just hanging out over here being flesh mutants. I don't think I need to worry about spending ammo on these ones. I will zap him with lightning, though, right there, because who doesn't love a good lightning spell? I'm super glad that the first magic spell or, like, mod that you get for your character in this game was a lightning spell, dude. I love lightning mages. In every single video game, I'm gonna go for lightning first. I can't help it. There's just something about lightning crackling out of my fingers and chaining between everybody while they're like, like, it just makes me super ridiculously happy. I think it has something to do with, like, being a kid in, like, the 80s and early 90s and watching Star Wars for the first time. Did I just pick up a flamethrower? Okay, we have a Flammenwerfer right now. I think it has something to do with Star Wars growing up as a kid because, like, the Emperor zapping Maz with lightning was, like, one of the coolest things you could possibly do. I can't tell you how many times in my life I very much wish... Oh, my God. Okay, they're shooting the hell out of me. Hold on. Give me that right there. We will go ahead and inject that thing to get our health back. Dodge both those. Try to smack him up, but 2 shooters right now is not an ideal situation. I'm just gonna fall back. There we go. Alright, there's one down. There's the other one down. Shot him right in his ass. That's what he gets. That's his punishment for trying to beef with me. I will take the energy gun and the energy cells and the mechanics because those are all useful for crafting. I'm glad we got a little bit of ammunition back too because, like, honestly, keeping myself stocked up on ammo, I'm a really trigger-happy person. The downside is my gun doesn't deal a ton of damage yet, and so I've yet to find an upgrade for my gun, so I spend a lot of ammo just kind of, like, picking at people from a distance. Alright, let me get all the toxicity out of my system, too. There we go. Now I don't have a toxicity meter anymore. These right here, flesh worms, you can try to capture them. They're worth a lot of money if you can capture one, but if you fail at capturing them, they bust you up pretty good. I probably should have dodged that. What about you? You want to join me? Nope, you don't want to join me either. You don't want to be a part of my adventures? You could have been a part of my adventures, man. You could have hung out in my backpack. So we are 3 for 3 right now on failing a 1 out of 3. That guy right there concerns me. Okay, I'm back behind a rock right now. That'll work. I can't really fight the melee guy till I close with this dude. Ooh, he's playing it smart, though. He's, like, staying behind his tank. kill that. Okay, now we're good. Let me get a reload in real quick, though. Woo! Oh, I reloaded at the wrong time, bro. I didn't mean to reload right there. So the game auto-reloads if you're aiming and you click once your magazine's empty and you can't cancel the reload animation. And so that's what got me murdered right there, is that I was trying to click to attack with my melee weapon. Because attack on your melee weapon is on your left click. And then I think that's one of the boomers right there that blows up. Melee attack is on your left click, and then shooting happens when you left click while holding down right click. And so basically I just failed to lift a finger right there and got myself murdered. The good news is that dying in this game doesn't really implicitly matter. The game is an obsessive auto-saving game, so I think the most time that I've lost to any death was like 25 seconds because the game auto-saves pretty frequently, and you can quick save wherever you want with F5, so there's not a whole lot of barriers to you losing progress or anything else like that. Dude, that's a poisonous blood puddle? You'd think a giant lake of blood would be bad enough until they decided to make it poisonous, at which point this just becomes downright nasty. Let's hang out. Okay, so this is the guy right here. I'm just going to get rid of his tank at face value right there. Is that a pistol? Like, what does he have right now? Ow, I've been shot. Whatever it is, it hurts like hell. So he's either, like, ranked up or something. I need him to reload is what I need. There we go. What kind of... A revolver. That's why it hurts so much, dude. I was watching my health bar get absolutely fragmented in half by every single bullet that I was eating. And I was like, why is this a thing that's happening? It does 20 damage. Hell yeah, equip that thing. Let's go. How many bullets do I have for the pistol? I've got 17. That's not as many as I would like to have, but I also have level ups ready to rock. Leveling up in this game, actually fairly simple. Character building is not going to be an enormously in-depth process with this title. They just keep it nice and simple. You've got a bunch of different stats over here. You've got everything from hardiness, which is fair and simple, trading skill points for health and also resistances. You've got strength, which is better for melee attacks. You've also got finesse, which allows you to use more sophisticated guns. Occultism allows you to have more of these little infection pips, and then it also allows you to communicate with the flesh better. We've got cyber tech, which increases the quality of implants that you can install on your body, and also how effective your tech abilities are, like the lightning that I'm shooting at enemies every now and again inside of fights. And then you've got empathy, which largely changes around like dialogue options and stuff like that. With every level up, you get 2 skill points that you can throw in wherever the hell you want them to go. Right now, I've just been kind of like spreading them around, but I don't really get the vibe that I'm going to be low on skill points during the course of this game. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna put one into strength because I'd like to hit a little bit harder with my melee, and then from there I'll probably throw a little bit more damage into small firearms since we just picked up this revolver. I would like it. Does it actually change the tooltip? It does. So it actually does 3 more damage because of the stuff that we applied, which doesn't seem like much, but in a game where people have 50 HP, an extra 3 damage does add up over time. Oh, I should have tried to tame it, dude. Tame, you want to be my friend? He doesn't want to be my friend. All the worms around here, dude. All the worms where I come from are way more friendly than this, and they are always, like, super stoked to jump into my backpack and then be sold for profit. Unfortunately, these ones right here, they're free worms. They refuse to be constrained. Let me heal. I'm going to use a knowledge fragment real fast to get some free XP. And I'm going to get that out of my inventory, too, because it's just taking up space. And then I got to chug some meat real fast. Splattercat Gaming, chugging meat live on camera. Ow. Okay, his return fire was very... Jesus Christ. Can I eat this? I can't eat this while enemies are nearby. Okay, well, I'm pretty beat to hell right now. Wow, he led me on that one, dude. Alright, well, let's carry on to the left and see what mayhem we can get involved with. I'm pretty sure I pressed the space bar. Oh, they got me outranged. That's not fantastic. I gotta kind of like dance in and out on this one. Yeah, you're not reloading, bro. I'm not letting you reload. That's not a thing that I accept from you. You will not be reloading today. You will be dying today. Man. These guys hitting like chunk monsters. I don't think the new armor is effectively working. I had hoped that the new armor would take some of the sting out of some of these hits, but I was very, very wrong. All right, let's carry on this way and see what's up in this area because they said we had some kind of ruins or something. So I'm willing to bet there's going to be some kind of secret hatch or something else that I can get down into. This is definitely a game that kind of rewards exploration and just looking around the edges of the map tile. Let's see what's up with this flamethrower, too, that we picked up earlier. So, like, flamethrower, are you in here? There you are. Okay, so flamethrower, how do you work? Okay, so it's got, like, a little bit of a run-up time, but I'd like to find myself a willing participant to test it on. Like, somebody that's just really, really excited about the possibilities of being lit the hell on fire. Anybody around here meet that profile? There's got to be somebody around here that doesn't have anything to lose and wants to be lit on fire. You will be gathering as well to go along with the crafting system. There's all kinds of herbs and things that you can locate all over the map. Looks like I haven't been in this direction according to the wireframe. Is that taking me out? Okay. That's not taking me to a new area. And a new area is specifically what I want right now. Let's have a look. I think I heard something. We may have somebody that we can test our flamethrower on. Oh, no, he's too fast. Okay. All right, we'll get flamethrowered. Yeah, I think he likes it. I think he likes the feeling of it all over his giblies. That didn't actually use that much ammo either, in all honesty. Seems like the flamethrower actually maintains ammo efficiently fairly well. Having now mostly completed this little free-roaming area, I actually don't know if there's going to be a hatch. Let me check all the little limbs and things that stick off the side of the map, and we'll see if I find anything around here, but there's no... Oh, well, there's more stuff down here. Am I beat up right now? I don't think a flamethrower is going to be the greatest option. I only have a couple of bullets left for the pistol, unfortunately. But I'll get it Oh, there's 3 of them down here? How many of them have guns? Too many of them have guns. That's how many of them have guns. Oh, they have shotguns, though, so that's good. That means we have a range advantage, and range advantage in this game is actually fairly important. Got one. What are you doing? Trying to reload? The hell you are. You ain't reloading nothing. You're getting beat the hell to death. There we go. Give me that shotgun. I need the money. Yup, take that. What else you got? Give me that shotgun. Oh, this guy's got a pump. Ooh, pump's kind of sick, dude. I need large firearms 3 for the pump shotgun, though. All right. Well, I'll give that a look a little bit later on down the line, but I'm pretty stoked about that acquisition. What else we got going on inside of here that I can play around with? So if I can make more pistol... Oh, I don't have the recipe for pistol ammunition, so I'm going to have to go and, like, purchase that. Oh, we've got better rifles over here, too. These aren't old rifles. No wonder these guys are hitting so hard, dude. Can I take the magazine off of this thing? So, like, if I deconstruct this, do I get the extendo mag back? I don't. Okay. That's, like, fine. I'm not super happy about not getting my magazine back, but the good news is there's, like, 1 million magazines for sale back at town, so, like, I can buy another one. They're not, like, prohibitively expensive either. It'll be, like, a little bit of an investment. Booze. Yeah, dude. I don't know if I would drink liquids that I found inside of a trash pile. Just me personally. I've been in a lot of deserts, and I've done a lot of, like, surveying out in the middle of nowhere. And you find bottles with dubious fluids inside of them sometimes. And, like, just leave those laying where they're at, man. Don't touch those. Let's go talk to the Kraken real fast and, like, corroborate our information about the fleshpocalypse with him. That feels like it might be a decent investment of my time. I do love the game world map in this game, dude. I love how de-resed everything is and how they've gone for, like, really, really simple sort of 16-bit everything. Don't worry about that guy. I murdered him earlier. That one's one of mine. Nobody killed him. I took his ass out because I just like doing crazy stuff like that, man. I'm out of my mind. Hey, fleshkraken. You want to hang out? I've been out murdering, and I remembered that you needed social interaction every now and again, much like a Labrador Retriever. So, like, look at him, though. He's kind of cute, though, dude. If you really look at him, he's kind of adorable. Like, I'd let him take up a spot on my back fence. I bet the neighbors wouldn't mess with me anymore. I bet you 0 baseballs and footballs would land in my yard. Nobody would even throw in this direction anymore. It'd be like having the beast live in your backyard from the Sandlot. Friends? Here. How about this one? Yes, this one looks interestingly enough. So, a little backstory here. I found a robot in the Wasteland. I revived him with my vomit, and then he had me cut his head off because he's kind of like a cyborg. He just exists inside his own head. He doesn't need his body. And then he asked me to take him someplace interesting. So apparently this counts as interesting. Machine. Small. Swallow. Swallow, you want to eat him? Did it say anything? You can't hear it? No. Eat. Alive. Process. I'm pretty sure it wants to eat you. There's a high chance that my shell is resilient enough to survive this. Could be an informative experiment, but I could also be stuck in the bowels of this animal for years, decades even. Eat alive. Process. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? It's not like I'm throwing my head into a giant flesh titan, you know what I mean? Like, good luck, flesh face. Thank you. Chances are high that I may need that. Eating. Hey, do you know how to talk to the flesh that's growing everywhere? Strong voice. Can you show me how to do it? Pondering, seeing, knowing. A sudden awareness of past and recent experiences washes over you. Oh, we've got new stuff. Ooh, I've got memories. So I have a memory of solitude. I have the memory of a naked man. Yeah, one of the first people you meet in this game is a naked guy who just wants to show off his dance moves. That's pretty much it. It's that kind of game, all right? Try not to think about it too. What happens if I remember the naked man? Oh, I can't equip those. They're just like stuck inside my memory. Gotcha. Kind of a little meta humor right there is that memories are equipment that you can slot in to get bonuses, but also if you see things shocking, they just take up slots inside of here, like trauma. Weirdly enough, I don't think the sight of a naked man dancing would really... I don't know. I don't think it would burn itself into my brain. Like, I grew up in San Francisco, you know what I mean? Like, it used to be a pretty strange place. I guess I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I suppose. But, you know, like, back in the day, like, when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, big cities were weird places, man. Oakland, Richmond, Hayward, Vallejo, San Francisco, all those places. They've kind of like, over the years, all of the characters been bleached out of a lot of the big major American cities. I don't know, I think it's because like tons and tons of transplants and whatnot moved in and all the artsy people and all the weird people couldn't afford to live there anymore, so after that point it was just all over and the character just fell off. While I'm back in town to talk to the Flesh Nexus, I do need to make like a little bit of cash. I have no skills in energy guns or high tech, so I feel like I can pretty safely sell most of that stuff. I'll keep the pump action shotgun for later, although it doesn't look that much better than the pipe shotgun in all fairness. But we are kind of like moving up towards tier 2 weapons right now, which I think is a really, really good thing. I'll just sell off what I have on me. I don't know if I have any sellables down in here. Yeah, I've got some opals and things. Plastic trash, people actually want that. The gems make sense. I'll sell those off post-haste. Household wares, quartz, packaging material, just in case. I guess we now function entirely on a packing peanut economy out here. Let's go back and buy, and what I wanted to buy was, if they have it, can I get... Give me another extra magazine, and also give me Blade Master. I'm going to put it on my sword so that it hits for 1 extra damage. It's not much, but I feel like it'll add up over time, you know? And then from there... Give me more rifle rounds. I'm fine with spending my entire net worth on rifle rounds. Yeah. And then from there, we just gotta go apply to my equipped rifle. And so now my equipped rifle has 4 rounds, which is great with the extra DPS. And then this guy right here, apply it to my sword. That way we've got that extra damage on there for later. But this is Death Trash. I think this game is actually utterly phenomenal. It's got tight combat, it's got good sound effects, it's got a world that's interesting, and stands apart from everything else on the market right now. All of the parts seem to be in the right place. The only warning that I would give you is that the developer of this game strikes me as being sort of a perfectionist who's fine with the game taking as long as it needs to take in order to get all the content into the game. He's developing at his own pace. That's a downside, but the upshot to that is that when content releases for this game, it tends to be really polished and bug-free, and so you're not really buying this early access to be like a beta tester in a lot of cases. I think I've covered this game over the last couple years like 3 or 4 times, and I don't think I've ever hit a single bug with this game, ever, in all my exploring and running around the map and having a good time. And so it seems to be a game that's like on a decent footing, so long as you're fine with it taking a little while to get here. And you know, good things come to those who wait. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we are messing around with a game called Death Trash. Tomorrow, we'll be messing around with something else. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. Just peruse some video games and have a good time with it. I will catch you all later, and that's about all I got for you, folks. Goodbye.